Hi guys, Crowlister here with another Mega Man long play. Continuing on the Game Boy series, I will be playing Mega Man 4 Game Boy in this video. Enjoy the long opening intermission that this game actually has. Branching on from the previous Mega Man games on the NES and Game Boy respectively, this one starts off with 4 Robot Masters from Mega Man 4, and then 4 from Mega Man 5, along with, of course, an exclusive Robot Master. Then we got this versus split scene with Mega Man and Wily. Followed by this one with Mega Man and that exclusive Robot Master. His name is Ballade. Then the cutscene ends with Mega Man shooting a charge shot to the screen. And you go back to the title screen. So you start off in Light's lab, and Light tells you about a machine he made to help you in this game. So, you know how later Mega Man games, starting with Mega Man 7, have the currency in the form of the bolts that you use to collect, and then you can redeem them for power-ups? Mega Man 4 Game Boy was where that actually started in the series, except to use power chips instead of screws. So, kind of like an early version of that. Toad Man is easy, as he was in the original NES Mega Man 4. Mega Man 4 Game Boy is not nearly as bad to deal with as Mega Man 3 Game Boy, in my opinion, and there was only one stage besides the Wily stage that I really struggled in at all. This one's actually kind of fun if you get the hang of it. The only detail you need to keep in mind, though, is that if you shoot a charge shot, it gives Mega Man backwards recoil, meaning he'll bounce back after you release the charge shot. Shooting across the pits where the rain pushes you back as well in Toad Man's stage can make that detail a little bit dangerous. Streams of water also limit your jump ability. The 4 stages at the first half of the game, kinda half, have letters in each one spelling out beats. Collect all 4 of them to have Beat join you as a weapon that you can select like he does in Mega Man's 5 and 6 on the NES. I recommend you try to get it because Beat can be pretty functional. I'll use him a little bit in this game. Gotta wait for the Raton to jump to the side. Dang amoeba. There you go. Bigger pea chips are worth more than smaller ones, obviously. I wait for Toad Man to threaten to use the Rain Flush move before I shoot him. Because if you do it before that, he'll jump and dodge you. Other than that, he's a pushover. The Rain Flush is more efficient in this game than it was in Mega Man 4 NES. Because you can land a double hit on Bright Man, the Robot Master, it's weak to it. And it also has another use as well that you'll see later in the game. You must defeat Toad Man specifically in this game to unlock the Rush Coil. You can visit Dr. Light's lab in between stages. I'm gonna save my power chips, though, until I have enough to get the energy balancer. We'll do Bright Man next. Convenient, I just got Rush Coil. There. What they did to this stage in Mega Man 4 Game Boy compared to the NES version is actually pretty cool. You'll see up ahead. The room dimming now plays a bigger role than it did before. And there are some different scenes throughout it where you have to make skill jumps across different platforms that are lit up among the darkness and stuff. The tiny energy tank is kind of like a piece of heart from the Zelda series, if I may describe it. You need to get 4 of them in order to get a whole energy tank. Again, you can only hold up to 4 of them. You have to turn the switch off to activate the platforms in order to progress. And then the platforms will be lit up. So be careful of these light bulb type enemies that come by. Then you flip the switch on the other side to turn the power back on, and there should be solid ground there. There are these Gutsman face platforms that descend diagonally as you stand upon them, and will kill you if you touch the spikes underneath them. You have to ride him underneath this in order to cross. So, jump at the right moment to survive. The problem is that if you go too far back away from where an enemy spawns, it'll spawn again. Just make a well-aimed jump to get the letter, like this. Brightman himself is also easier in this game, since you can hit him more than once with a single rain flush. The flash stopper still makes it virtually impossible to no damage him, though. Anyway, there you go. Next up is Pharoah Man. You have to keep jumping to get across the quicksand. Just watch out for scorpion-type robots that come from it. In this game, the mummy-type robots' headshots go too low for Mega Man to be able to slide underneath them. So, you literally have to jump over them to get out of their way. You know how annoying those ladybug-type robots were in Mega Man 4 NES, in like Dustman and Joe Man stages? Well, they take only one Buster Bullet to destroy in this game, making them a lot easier. Except I'm pretty sure this and Ringman's stage, I'm not sure. Nah, I think it's just this stage is the only stage in the game they even appear in. That's enough of that respawning. These little stone blocks will drop one row after shaking once you land on them. Then you have to slide to get across to the other side once it's aligned just right. You need to wait for one of the rocks to be aligned just right here. No, you need to jump as soon as you land on that one in order to get the letter. You need to be careful not to jump while they're not low enough, and while they're not too low. Right here. Power-ups can be a death trap every so often, like that extra life probably is. As for the special weapon we're going to use, Pharoah Man can be affected by the Flash Stopper. Since the invincibility frame after inflicting damage on a boss doesn't last as long as it does in the NES games and the other mainline games, you can whittle them down pretty quickly. That was a massive Pharoah shot attack dodge fail. Like it matters. The Pharoah Shot, a powerful charge-up attack that can be thrown in horizontal and diagonal directions. Now we do Ringman. You might want to use the... I'm checking how many P chips I have. I need 150 by the end of the stage. You might want to use the Flash Stopper to keep the wall blasters from shooting you in various parts, if that helps make it easier for you. The differences in the textures of the platforms that slide away as soon as you land on them each go in a different direction. The beam ones go to the right, and the coil ones go to the left. You have to wait for it to beam across once before you can cross them, or you're not gonna make it. Somewhat of a troll here, be careful. almost have enough. A little bit of repetition here. And I gotta fight the same exact sub-boss again, and with even less room than before. Use the Pharoah shot against Ring Man. While he attacks, you want to get pretty close to him and back away quickly for each shot to limit his range and make it easier to dodge. He's also easier in this game than the NES game. The Ring Boomerang also has a bonus use that it didn't have in the original game in this game, that you'll see later. And because I got all 4 of the bonus letters, I have access to Beat the Bird now. Another highly useful weapon to have. Since I got over enough P chips, we're gonna visit Dr. Lights. And now we face Dr. Wily. This scene right here is an intermission. It's not part of the stage. Then after Mega Man automatically neutralizes the exterior weapons, you have some sub-bosses on the roof of the fortress. This satellite-type boss has a core that'll open up every so often with wisps going around it. Shoot it while that happens. You might be able to shoot it again if you're quick, if the wisp or wisps are not destroyed first. Doing that can be very hard, though. If it uses the defensive ball roll attack, get up close to it, wait a couple seconds, and slide to the left just before it comes down at you. So much for finishing off there and then. I'm not weighing any further. Keep your distance while shooting these bomb obstacles you'll see in the other Wily in the other Wily stage. So here's our first encounter with Ballade. While his movement pattern's not nearly as hard to memorize as Punk's is or react to, he is still tough. So, just know that. He's also immune to all special weapons, so you have to rely on the Mega Buster. At 1 point of health left, he retreats, and you move on to fight bosses from Mega Man 5. I'm gonna do Charge Man first. He's still a tough one even in this game, though not as tough. Just like with the second half of the Robot Masters in the previous games in the Game Boy lineup, your weapon energy is not recovered in between stages for these bosses, so the energy balancer is very useful to have. If you pick up a weapon capsule with no special weapon equipped, it'll refill the special weapon or item that currently has the least remaining amount of energy. It saves you from having to bring up the suspend menu to select the weapon you want to refill. Do you remember how I said the ring boomerang had an extra function in this game? It's the answer to how do you get that energy tank piece. It grabs items and brings them into you. It can be hard to land a hit on these chickens in the face with a charge shot, because the whiff makes it more likely to hit the invulnerable spot, so keep that in mind. At least the rush coil doesn't work in this game like it did in NES Mega Man 5. These 4 stages have more bonus letters spelling out the word Wily, as in Dr. Wily. You need them in order to progress. You cannot do without them. Charge Man is a little bit easier in this game since the Power Stone doesn't suck as bad, and because Charge Man actually has a warning signal to let you know that he's using the Charge Kick attack. However, he's still tough. So, there you go. So for defeating Charge Man, you get the Charge Kick as well as the Rush Jet. Same as before, you slide to do the Charge Kick rather than pressing attack. So, Alright, next up is Crystal Man. Do you remember earlier where I said that there was only one stage in this game that I dislike? This is it. I had some struggles on this one during the recording. And if you've played this game for yourself, it wouldn't be hard to believe. You want to shoot the ball rather than the walking blowers in order to destroy both of them at once. Or the ball will topple around and cause an even bigger mess. You gotta shoot the wheel-type robots quickly, or they'll become invincible until they stop spinning, which is annoying to wait through. This is a very bad place to have one of the Wily letters, I'm just saying. You have to wait for that Crystal Joe, unfortunately. I'm gonna grab that big health recovery with the ring boomerang. Beat is good to use against these sweeper-type enemies down here. There's another one just up ahead. There's a split here with a couple of different routes that you can possibly take. I'll go downward. To go forward from there would require you to use Rush Coil. We're gonna have to wait for crystal drops in some parts down here after this Crystal Joe. There are some trolls down here. This is the one and only part in the entire game that Eddie appears in. And he was generous enough to give me an energy tank. What do you know? Both of the routes that you can go in at that part of Crystal Man stage are pretty trolly. If you haven't memorized it. So, if you land in spikes on accident, I warned ya. Then, both routes have these scenes where you have to move across the platforms quickly before they collapse on you. I'm not taking any chances here. This stage ticked me off enough earlier. There's another one of these. That's a really bad place to put a Crystal Joe, in my opinion. Lovely, I got a distracting noise in the background while I'm recording my narration. That being a car alarm. Not that you can hear it anyway. Since there's no gyro attack in this game, we're gonna use the charge kick against Crystal Man. This can make the fight a bit annoying, as this is kind of an offense or defense only, not both, kind of weapon to use. With each attack Crystal Man does, I mean. I purposely waited for him to jump without shooting before I struck him, just to play it safe. Crystal Eye, a projectile that splits into three and bounces along the walls after it lands. Alright, so, we're gonna do Napalm Man now. Napalm Man's stage in this game is really fun. It also has a few easy-to-miss secrets. Just wait for these to break away. Look what the Rain Flush can do. extinguishes the fire so you can go up this ladder. And there, right there, stands Pharoah Man, Mega Man's charismatic brother. Occasionally, he'll give you a super refill, which will instantly recharge your health and weapon ammunition. You need to use the rain flush again as you go back down, as the flames there kill you on contact, like spikes do. They also come back after a bit if you extinguish them, so watch out for that as well. You need to wait for this rolling drill to come down and ride on it. The rolling drill plays a much bigger role in this game than it did in Napalm Man and Mega Man 5 NES. Just remember that the front-facing sides of the rolling drills kill you on contact, regardless of health. So you have to be careful right here, specifically. You need to very carefully jump on top of this one. Shoot this missile and slide quickly to the other side. And the shrapnel from the other one should miss. The tigers jump as soon as you shoot or as soon as you approach them. This one can be a bit intimidating. You also have to watch out for the missiles, which are indestructible and can stop you easily if you're reckless. Rush Jet can help you get over here a little quicker. You can optionally use the rain flush to make this part easier, being that this is where the Wily letter is. Get across these crumbling platforms quickly. The second missile does block you, the first one doesn't. And then you use the rolling drill to get across the end. Get across this one quickly before it crumbles. And wait for this rolling drill to destroy this wall. Weakness for Napalm Man is the crystal eye, same as before. And there, I legitimately no damaged him. So this leaves Stone Man. He's probably the only boss of the 8 main ones in this game that I would say is harder than he was in the original NES game. We got these hippo-type sub-bosses originally from Ringman's stage in Mega Man 4, except a little bit more annoying since there are more blocks holding them up. You have to be extra careful with the charge shot in this game because of the backwards recoil. There are some secret routes in this stage, except accessing them requires master coordination, so... Like here, you have to have a very well-aimed rush jet and slide just at the right moment to get across. The way I'm playing that route is by no means a big deal. Obviously. You have to jump quickly to cross these. Not nearly as bad to deal with as the ones that are like that in Mega Man 3. Not even close. Those infuriated me in that playthrough. So the Napalm Bomb is once again Stone Man's weakness. He has more invincibility in this game, keep in mind. The Power Stone is also a little bit better to use in this game. So now we're gonna finish off Ballade. This is where you require the Wily letters. If you have them all, you can progress here. There are just some randomly placed items here and there. To get across the magnets from the right, you'll need to shoot them to halt them temporarily and get across quickly. Then Ballade actually transforms into a more powerful form and becomes a lot harder. Being in a rush, I couldn't help having to use an energy tank against him. The special weapon that you get from Ballade is really nifty. It's called a Ballade Cracker. And it's kind of like the metal blade in that you can throw it into different directions, except it explodes on contact with an enemy or solid surface, instead of going through them. You're gonna need to use this very weapon to get through the wall of bombs, and quickly before the fortress collapses on you. The explosions do hurt you, so you have to keep your distance. That makes the whole scene even more intimidating. Good enough, we escaped. Then you see this intermission where the fortress collapses. And Wily escapes to a space station. Flashing warning. Kinda. This is an old Game Boy game, keep in mind. You're automatically taken to Light's lab, and this is your final opportunity to do any item crafting. I'm just gonna buy the instant refill. Not that I need it that badly. And I usually buy weapon tanks as well, just in case. So, here we go. We're gonna use the Ballade Cracker on this metal turret. Trying to use the Buster alone will make the fight about unbearable. You need to aim for the eyes, and keep in mind that he's invincible while he's shielding under his hard hat. The bullet can go forward or diagonally downward and bounce. Pretty much randomly decided. I've always hated these big stomper enemies throughout the series. The Ballade Cracker can deal with those ones pretty quickly, though. This one moves even faster, and will shoot seeking missiles. Now for another boss. This boss mimics the special weapons, some of them, that you have at random, followed by a grabbing attack, and is only vulnerable while its cushion inflates. A problem which you have to shoot it very quickly. There are missiles here, so no being hasty. Grab this real quick with the ring boomerang. That's the problem with this game. There are a lot of different scenes throughout the game where you have to wait for enemies. That's never fun. Rush Jet is required to get through here. You cannot steer up and down while using it. And enemies are placed in very unfair positions here. Keep an eye out for distinct-looking blocks and some descents in the Wily stage. You can destroy them with a charge kick, and Pharoah Man will appear there. He just gave me an energy tank that I didn't need at all. You might want to use Rush to make this jump. There are these sub-bosses that are like giant eyes. This first one will split among clones after one hit. And the clones disappear if you shoot them. With each hit, the real one or any of the clones, their speed increases significantly, so aim carefully. And watch where it moves. You get a large health recovery after beating them. More missiles. Another tricky scene with Rush Jet awaits. I'm gonna use beats since we got these again. You need Rush Coil here. Get the mummy-type robot with beats. And now we can proceed to the next sub-boss. These ones alternate opening and closing their eye. Shoot the one that's open recommendedly. Emphasis on recommendedly. There is a Mizzle here just to troll you. Let's see. Pretty bad place to have a tiger, in my opinion. Spike's being in the way of us aside. He gives me a weapon energy refill. Lame. The first 3 Game Boy Mega Man games didn't have the traditional boss rush during the Wily stages. This game, however, does. The capsules are placed in the order that the bosses are written in, with the order you're supposed to get the letters in this room, making it easier to memorize. Alright, so, after dealing with those 8, we get a bunch of weapon reloads. The only weapon I require to reload is the Ballade Cracker. Couldn't care less about any other. And then we have an intermission. The first phase of the Wily machine in this game is tough. It's hard to read where the hands are gonna come and whether they're gonna punch you or strike the ground. And the ring shot from the chest can deflect your shot and make you miss easily. If the shrapnel hits me, I'm unable to shoot back. So... The next phase of the Wily machine after this, in my opinion, is easier. Shoot the Ballade Cracker, for example, while its mouth is open. I guess how long its mouth stays open can be randomly decided. Move back and forth like this to dodge the spark bolts. Then have the Mega Buster equipped and shoot bullets just to keep it from impacting you. And repeat the process until down. I was able to finish him off quickly. Now there's still one more phase with the Wily capsule. Keep to the far left while the capsule disappears, and get out of the way quickly as it drops a bomb. These destroy the floor. Then move to the right carefully while dodging bouncing balls. And try the land hits with the Ballade Cracker. And repeat the process. Keep in mind that the bullets he shoots deflects your shot, so it can be kinda hard to land hits on them. There, I finished him off. Now, do you remember the previous couple games where it looks like Wily was killed? No more of that. In this game, he legitimately makes an escape. It looks like he does. Then there's this intermission. This isn't an actual stage, where Mega Man shoots his way through closing barriers as the ship threatens to self-destruct. And comes to this seemingly non-destructible door that he tries his hardest to break through. And it gets halted by Ballade. he sacrifices himself to blow the door open and allow Mega Man to get jettisoned out. Then, the battleship collapses, and Mega Man in Rush spaceship is watching. Mega Man feels bad about destroying all the robots throughout the series. That's kind of a weakness that he has. There's no rule at the end for all the different enemies in this game, only the main bosses. And this one lasts a little bit longer. So with that ends the Mega Man 4 Game Boy long play. There's one more game in the Game Boy series for the Classic series, which is completely different. It's not a side-telling or whatnot of any of the other NES games, and it's very unique, so look forward to that. And I'll be sure to do the rest of the Canon series and plenty more up ahead. So until my next upload, I am Crowlister Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, and see ya.